Today, the world says goodbye to a legend. In a private but deeply emotional ceremony, friends, family, and devoted fans came together to pay their final respects to Ozzy Osbourne, the Prince of Darkness, the voice of Black Sabbath, and one of the most iconic figures in rock history. His funeral, held in a Gothic-style chapel in Birmingham, England, his hometown, was a blend of heavy metal soul, heartfelt tributes, and spiritual remembrance. Ozzy Osbourne wasn't just a singer. He was a movement, a symbol of rebellion, and a man whose voice shaped the sound of generations. Born John Michael Osbourne on December 3, 1948. He rose from the working-class streets of Aston to global stardom with Black Sabbath pioneering the heavy metal genre and influencing countless musicians across the world. His career spanned over 50 years, from the dark riffs of Iron Man to the emotional ballad of Mama, I'm Coming Home. According to official statements released by the Osbourne family, Ozzy passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 75, following complications from progressive Parkinson's disease, which he publicly revealed in 2020. In recent years, he also battled spinal issues after a fall at home in 2019, though frail in his final months. Those close to him say he remained mentally sharp, full of humor, and deeply connected to his family. The funeral was everything. Ozzy embodied a perfect mix of dark elegance and raw humanity. Black roses adorned the venue, and music from both his solo career and Black Sabbath played softly in the background as mourners entered it. Sharon Osbourne, his wife of over 4 decades, sat in the front row with their children, Amy, Kelly, and Jack, all of whom delivered moving eulogies. Jack Osbourne described his father as a warrior who taught us to scream when the world told us to stay silent, while Kelly called him the kindest soul wrapped in chaos, and the most loving father I could ever ask for. While the funeral was private, public memorials erupted around the world. Thousands gathered outside the venue in Birmingham, holding candles, photos, and posters of Ozzy. In Los Angeles, a mural of Ozzy in the Sunset Strip was surrounded by flowers, and in Tokyo, fans organized a midnight vigil playing his greatest hits. Artists from all genres, from Metallic to Post Malone, shared tributes on social media, calling him a visionary, godfather, and fearless creative. Beyond the music, Ozzy Osbourne's cultural impact is immeasurable. He broke the mold of what a rock star should be, embracing vulnerability, mental health struggles, and family dynamics in a way few musicians dared. His infamous antics, biting the head off a bat on stage, his wild reality show, The Osbournes, and his unapologetic interviews became part of pop culture history. Yet, behind the theatrics was a deeply reflective man who sought redemption and spiritual peace. At the close of the funeral, an unreleased acoustic track recorded by Ozzy shortly before his death was played for attendees. A haunting ballad reportedly titled End of the Line. With minimal instrumentation and Ozzy's aging voice full of emotion, the song was a goodbye letter to his fans, expressing gratitude and a sense of peace. As the final chords of the song faded, Sharon Osbourne stood at the podium, holding back tears. "You were my storm, my safety, my soulmate," she said. "And now the stage is dark, but the music never stops. You will live on in every riff, in every scream, in every broken heart that found healing in your voice. Her words were met with a standing ovation, a final tribute to the love story that stood the test of fame, scandal, and time. Ozzy Osbourne, the irreplaceable frontman of Black Sabbath and a legend of rock and metal, has been laid to rest in a private, deeply personal ceremony just outside Birmingham, England, his hometown and the place where it all began. Family, close friends, and bandmates gathered to say goodbye to the man known globally as the Prince of Darkness. The cemetery, chosen for its serene setting away from the public eye, was adorned with black roses, Gothic crosses, and vintage vinyls from his iconic discography. That reflected the persona Ozzy embraced while staying true to the man behind the myth. A light rain fell over the grounds, almost as if the sky itself was mourning the loss of one of rock's greatest rebels. His headstone, simple yet powerful, bears the quote that captured Ozzy's complex relationship with life and mortality: "I'm not afraid to die. I just don't want to be there when it happens." This famous line, part humor, part confession, serves as a lasting reminder of Ozzy's ability to face darkness with defiance and laughter. No matter how close it came, the funeral service was not a grand public spectacle, but an intimate gathering of those who knew Ozzy best. Sharon Osbourne, his devoted wife of over 40 years, led the tributes with a tearful yet composed eulogy that reflected on their life together, full of chaos, triumph, pain, and enduring love. Musicians and collaborators like Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Zakk Wylde offered tributes that combined reverence with stories of tour madness, creative genius, and the wild heart that made Ozzy impossible to tame. A string quartet played an instrumental version of Changes, the 1972 ballad Ozzy recorded with Black Sabbath that had become deeply symbolic of his evolution both as an artist and a man. In one particularly emotional moment, recordings of Ozzy's voice played softly over the loudspeakers, these gravelly, unmistakable tones speaking lyrics of resilience and rebellion. There wasn't a dry eye among those in attendance when "Mama, I'm Coming Home" echoed across the hills. According to a family spokesperson, Ozzy Osbourne passed away peacefully in his sleep at the age of 76, following years of health battles. His cause of death was officially reported as complications stemming from Parkinson's disease, a condition he was diagnosed with in 2003 but kept largely private until 2020. In recent years, Ozzy had endured multiple surgeries, spinal issues, and other health setbacks that left him increasingly frail. Despite this, he remained mentally sharp and creatively engaged, even working on music from his home studio when physically possible. Those close to him say he never lost his humor, his sharp tongue, or his deep gratitude for the fans who stood by him through his darkest hours. He faced the end the way he lived, unapologetically and with dignity, Sharon said. 2 million. Ozzy Osbourne was the bat-biting, growling figure who redefined the boundaries of rock. But behind the headlines and stage antics was a man of surprising vulnerability, humor, and warmth. A devoted father, a husband who weathered unimaginable storms, and an artist who constantly sought redemption. Ozzy lived a life of survived them all until his final breath. He was born John Michael Osbourne in the working-class town of Aston in Birmingham. He overcame poverty, learning disabilities, and incarceration to become the voice of a generation disillusioned with convention. Black Sabbath's self-titled debut album in 1970 ignited a global movement with Ozzy at its vanguard. His later solo career, with hits like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, only cemented his icon status. Ozzy's openness about his struggles with addiction and mental health won him respect from a new generation. He didn't pretend to be perfect. He simply was who he was, flaws, scars, and all. And that's what made him relatable in a genre often filled with bravado. Ozzy's passing marks the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. His music continues to inspire countless artists across genres, from metal to hip-hop. His distinctive vocal tone, his lyrical themes of darkness and salvation, and his unapologetic authenticity created a blueprint for generations to follow. Plans are already in motion to establish a permanent memorial in Birmingham, with talks of renaming a street in his honor and creating a museum dedicated to Black Sabbath and Ozzy's contributions to music and culture. His family has also hinted at continuing his charity work, particularly in supporting Parkinson's research and addiction recovery programs. Fans across the world held candlelight vigils, played his music loudly into the night, and filled social media with personal stories of how Ozzy's words helped them feel seen, understood, and empowered. Though Ozzy Osbourne has left this world, his voice continues to roar. His story, one of rebellion, redemption, and resurrection, remind us all that even the most broken souls can find their way back to the light. He taught us that pain can be transformed into power, that laughter can live beside sorrow, and that music can save us even from ourselves. So let the amps stay turned up. Let the records keep spinning. Let the darkness remember the man who ruled it with a howl, a grin, and an iron will. Rest in peace, Ozzy. Your music will never be silenced. Long live the Prince of Darkness.